Hey guys, welcome back to Yellow Label. This week I wanted to give an insight that was really important that I felt as if I should share with you guys. So, as some of you may know, um, this video is going to be all about the struggles of building a creative business. And I'm going to give you a little bit of context so you know what that really is, um, for us anyway. So I graduated from university in 2018, and before I actually graduated, I was doing photography as a hobby and creating content kind of for fun. Um, and in June of 2018, I launched KHCF Creative as a solo venture. And very quickly after that, Um, me and my friend Nathan were talking for a very long time about what we're doing about graduation and what we kind of aspire for our lives. And a couple months after, we decided to partner up. And since then, we have been running as a photography business, mostly doing commercial and corporate clients, but we're working with charity organizations. Charity organizations. Sorry, that's a Scottish mumbling in me, in order to bring a kind of body of dimension through our perspective to give back to companies and changing the way they kind of get branded. Um, this was a huge leap of faith for both of us. As you can imagine, we come from Asian heritage. And although it wasn't particularly a strong choice in terms of what our parents imagined for us, I feel we decided to take the leap and try. And I can't speak for Nathan specifically, but I had quite intensive conversations with my parents before I was graduating, as I was finishing, about the troubles I was going through and the issues that I was dealing with, because I inevitably worked in Hong Kong for a year and kind of felt all these repercussions of corporate life and working in an industry that didn't really satisfy me morally and stimulated me in terms of work. So, what we set out to do was create a photography business that can run itself, hopefully in future, fingers crossed, and begin to build a platform for people to show people that it's really important to be able to take what you love into something you do if that's what you want. And that's the key thing. I think a lot of people do love passions and hobbies, but sometimes keeping it like that also isn't an issue. It really depends if you want to make it a way to make your living. And that's the most important thing, that self awareness, to be able to understand yourself, first of all. And with that context set, we decided to try and build a business of our own, because the biggest thing was we didn't want to ask for money to start a business that we wanted to do, which in long term also gives us full creative control because we don't have anyone to account to because we've not taken any money from anyone. So we set off doing so for the past nearly 2 years, a year and a half, nearly two. Um, and since then, we've had to learn all these different dimensions of living and creating content, but also trying to find it in terms of a business and finding our way through that journey. And I have a background in working in small businesses due to family business, and I tried to adopt as many principles and economical ways of working into that. And as much as I went in with a very strong head of how that direction will go, it all pops, because when it's not your business, it's a lot more. It's a lot easier to objectively attain goals, meet targets, um, and just get things done. And I think as you learn to operate better, hopefully we will get to that stage where it becomes that, uh, without losing character and love and feel for what we're actually creating. And I wanted to share some of the struggles and huge mental issues that you have to go through in order to actually try and start and do this journey, because I think it's really important that we share our journey, and also people don't see all the bad sides of doing this. I think a lot of my friends have all said, "Oh, wow, you're doing this and you're doing this." But nearly every win that we get, there's about 50 losses that come with it. And that just shows how much we're actually doing or trying to do and failing. And I think this is really important, because I don't want people to get a false image of us as people and also the company as a brand, because the whole point of this was to be able to do something we're passionate about and show that other people can do it. So if I lied to you or didn't show you the truth, then not winning so hard in terms of moral standpoint for what we actually wanted to create. So with that in mind, and that all wrapped up into here, so you understand where we're coming from, um, I would like to divulge some important issues that we had to face in order for you to maybe contextualize it for yourself, so you can understand it if you're maybe looking into this field, or if there's issues that you'd like to share together that we could help each other out with, or just for you to get an understanding of what it is really like to do what you love or what you want to do. Um, and I think the first thing to really start off with was something I mentioned earlier about whether or not you actually want to turn your passion into a job. There's been so many times I've thought, this is why I hate working, because it sucks the soul out of everything that I like. And there have been points where I've thought, like, this completely ruins how much I enjoy photography and content, because I'm having to attach a figure to everything that I do now. Um, and it's discouraging, because you might not win things and you might not get the budget for it, and then you kind of think, oh, what, is my work worthless? Or like, what's the actual value of it now that I actually have to attach a price to my time and effort to create something? Um, and that's really important. So the best way for me was to try and do these things to actually see if it was worth it for me to keep continuing. But I think I could have had a much earlier conversation that a lot of you guys, and when I say guys, I mean just in general, plural people, because in case people are like, hey, why is it only guys? But I meant guys as like just people, because I just use that as a collective term, just in case, no hate. Um, so you can understand that conversation with yourself is really important. Do you want to enjoy something as a hobby, or do you want to enjoy it as a living? Because when it's a living, there's so many things that get attached to it. You get the stress that attached to it, you get the value, you get the economic side, you get the business side. And then you kind of like go down this slope of, is this really worth it? Like, is it better to just be able to enjoy it when I want to release from daily life or my work? Or is it something that I just want to do, and then it actually can be part of like my working life? And that's a really important conversation to have with yourself, that I would strongly advise. It definitely helped me, although it came a bit late, because I was already like jumped knee deep into it, but it's okay. Tears, very sad tears. Second of all, figure out where you stand in terms of principles. And this comes very quick to you as you're beginning to make money from something. Like, you need to understand um, if what you're doing is actually in order to make the money, or is it in order to do what you want. And this kind of ties in with the first question, but that's more about taking the leap. This is about when you're actually doing, like, where do you sit in terms of, specifically for us, art, in terms of photography, or business in terms of money, um, and what you're trying to build with that. So we started with a very, very important baseline of, one, we wanted to show people that, we can create a lifestyle for ourselves. Like, we don't have to follow the kind of built up systems that we're all kind of brought up in, through education, through nurture from our parents or our environments. And that's number one. We never forget that. We never forget what we're doing can potentially help someone or encourage someone to completely enhance or change their life. And second of all, it's all about being able to give back and to produce a skill set or a business or a company in order to serve a greater purpose. And that's always two things that we never ever forget about. That's constantly coming back to that. Because at umbrella level on top, that's what the purpose of all of this is, and that has gotten us through so much because your why is kind of like concrete. Difficult, so difficult, so many times, but always keep reminding yourself of why you're doing it and your purpose for that. So please take some time to speak with yourself so you kind of can figure that out. Is it for the money? And if it is for the money, why is it for the money? Like, what do you want to achieve? And I'm only saying this because I don't think everyone has to have like a crazy life purpose. It doesn't have to be about changing the world, or it could be as simple as just want to get a mortgage and live a very comfortable, happy life and provide for your family. Like that's super important, and I wish I could do that as well. I just also want other things as well along with it. Um, so please have that conversation with yourself. Understand why you're doing it and what purpose is driven the work. So, for example, if you wanted to just make a living and make a very comfortable living through photography or videography or content, from what we've seen and what we know, you could very quickly, push on the marketing, deliver high quality work. If you're not super precious about the art side of it or like what your perspective or your principles of creating the content is about, but it's about delivering good content, then you can totally go for that. I think I find it very difficult when I'm just shooting without purpose. In terms of, I feel as if everything that we do has to make a statement, a good statement. I mean, in terms of it has to serve a good purpose. But that's me rambling on. We can have these discussions if you just message me and ask, and we'll be talking about it for years and years and years and years. And lastly, this video in general is a very broad scope of what we've had to encounter. And like you could talk about these for days. I just really want to give a quick summary. And the most important one, I actually think, is your mental health. And I say this because as someone that's never really had to encounter much mental difficulty, in terms of I just have this ridiculous arrogance to just do and jump and leap, which sometimes is the biggest fear in the world. I just kind of do. And I think now that it comes to something very precious to me that I find very important, it hits even harder when there's knockbacks. And there's been so many times that we've had, well, yeah, both of us together have had to check in with ourselves to be like, hey, like what's going on and why? Because you can't control everything, and when it's something precious to you, it hurts a lot. And it just sucks so much, so much. So, with regards to mental health, I think you should always check in with yourself. And I know this is a really broad term and it's really like cliquey to say check in with yourself, but it's literally as simple as, oh, why do I feel a bit unhappy about this? Or why do I feel stressed about this? And what can I do to not have these issues in future? And I am no psychologist or psychiatrist, so please, if you need professional help, go to professional help because I can't. But what I can tell you to do is at least have that conversation with yourself and be honest about, is this working? Is it not working? Why is it not working? And what is it that's affecting me? And is it okay for this to continue? Because above all, we should prioritize our health because the journey of what we do as people in our jobs or whether you're starting a career or not is not subject to 2 years or 3 years or 5. It's actually a full lifetime. So if that means you need to do a super intense year of working and being super stressed out in order to take 5 years off, in order to come back super rejuvenated and ready to take it on for like 20 years, that's sounds pretty decent to me. Because we're not playing short games. It's not just about getting that promotion after a year or making 50K in 2 years. Like, you need to be really honest with yourself, and what's more important is ourselves, our health, both mentally and physically. I will do a video on millennial burnout because I've seen so much of it, and I've been on the brink of, well, actually, I was trudging through it in Hong Kong, but that's another video. And that's super, super, super important. So please, before you decide to make any crazy decision or keep on putting yourself through something, make sure to check in with yourself and see what it's actually impacting in terms of your mental and physical health, because that's super duper important. And I'm not an advocate or like some specialist, but I can only say as a person to another person, with respect and love, that you should always take care of yourself. So please take care of yourself. I really hope that this gave a little bit of insight of what we do. It's really hard to cover everything in one video because I have so much to say, and I'm beginning to realize this as we're doing like full format videos. But please, if you have questions or want to talk about it, please get in touch. Like, subscribe, drop a comment down below, and we will reply. Or if, as everyone seems to be really shy about commenting, you can just message us. That's okay too. We don't mind, as long as we get to talk to you. That sounded really sad, but half true. Half true. And please watch out for the next video. I'm really excited to be bringing some stuff out soon. Really, really, really excited. It's been what I've been trying to do for a really long time, and I've not found the right ways to do it. And I feel as if this is the best way I can so far to do it. So I'm super excited. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great week. And be sure to check out the other videos. If you haven't seen in 2019, that was my first take at kind of like a half cinematic kind of thing. I thought it was pretty good, but now that I look at it, it's so-so. But we will keep improving, hopefully, up and up. So yeah, enjoy your week, and I will see you all soon. Thanks for watching.